So exciting talking to each other. We're deprived from people. So. At this time, 6 p.m., we are going to convene the Harrison School District 2 Board of Education regular meeting, October 22nd, 2020. I would like to have a roll call.
Regina English.
Present.
Jeannie Orozco.
Present.
Linda Pugh. Here. Steve Siebert.
Here.
Corey Williams.
Here.
Our student reps, Eliza Moya.
Here.
Anna Soto.
Here. Thank you, Ms. Pugh. Has everyone had a chance to review the agenda?
Yes.
Any changes to the agenda? No? Can I have a motion?
I move to approve the agenda as stated.
All those in favor?
Second.
Oh, you don't want a second, do you? Get ahead of myself here. I'm gonna say moved by Mr. Williams, seconded by Mr. Siebert. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we have a meeting finally. Got ahead of myself there. We're gonna start with 4 showcasing schools. So 4.1, we were so happy to have schools back. You have no idea. We wish little people were with you, but we really appreciate you showing up. So we're gonna start with Fox Meadow Middle School.
Madam President, communicating with the public.
Oh.
Any member who'd like to.
I'm fired today. All right. I'm just gonna keep going and do whatever I want tonight, apparently. It's gonna be a whole thing. All right, communicating with the board. Anyone that would like to communicate with the board, to do so by signing up. Is the sign up over there? I don't see it. Yeah. Okay. Signing up, but prior to 6, since we started late, I'm gonna say 6:40. So if you could sign up prior to 6:40 to have communication with the board. Thank you, Mr. Siebert, I appreciate it. Anything else I left off before I am excited about schools? Okay. Sorry, ladies. If you could go ahead with your presentation for Fox Meadow Middle School. And Norma, do they have wipes? Every person that talks after the mic, if you can wipe it, please. Norma will make sure you have wipes. Sorry, if not, we get grounded.
Good evening, Board of Education of District 2. We are Fox Meadow Middle School. This year, we usually take a staff picture, but this year we can't because of social distancing. And so we created our own staff picture filled with our Bitmojis in front of our building. So this is Fox Meadow Middle School staff. And at this time, we have our Pledge of Allegiance.
technology.
You can just leave us on the
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I was excited to hear from the kids though.
You'll have it on your board, still have the effect.
And our students also said the mission.
Our mission of Fox Meadow.
So welcome to our classrooms right now.
It sounds nice.
Our mission of Fox Meadow.
We can just read it.
That's universal right there.
So our vision, that was the mission of our mission of Harrison, but our vision at Fox Meadow is to, our Fox Meadow community embraces diversity and creativity to empower lifelong learners and leaders. We sign most of our Facebook posts with hashtag embrace and empower, and this was created through our students, families, and staff. So it was a school community-wide vision.
So culture is a big aspect of Fox Meadow. This is our third year of implementing targeted interventions dealing with school culture. We've used staff surveys. This is all staff led. And we're also led by one of our teacher leaders, which is Mary Kay Pomanoli. I want to make sure that I give her a shout out for implementing this 3 years ago. We have subcommittees, and this is unique to our school that we've broken down each one of these into different types of culture. So climate and hospitality. We have PBIS, which focuses on positive behavior interventions and supports. And we have the DICE subcommittee, diversity, inclusion, culture, and equity. And our newest one this year is the FACE subcommittee, family and community engagement. One of the bullet points that you don't see up there is that we've also implemented lunch and learns. So we're bringing in people from our community. And last month we had an outstanding individual who's doing great work in the Southeast. And he was able to Microsoft Teams and do an electronic type of platform with our staff. And then this month we have another individual, and each month we're going to do that to make sure that we know who we're serving and we have a better idea of what they're doing out in the community. We've had successful projects, everything from awards assemblies, parties, culturally responsive training happens every month for our staff, and we have community and parent outreach and inclusion.
We are proud to serve a very diverse student population. Our largest student population group is represented by students who identify as of Hispanic heritage, but we also have representation from other populations. And we come up with a number of events to celebrate this unique, diverse background through our curriculum choices, also through recognitions throughout the school year, and through after-school events.
Part of of our recognition is of our all-star teacher status, because without our teachers and our students, we wouldn't be Fox Meadow. So part of our staff is created by our non-probationary teachers, 3+ years of proficient or higher evaluation. That makes up about 18 of our teachers. Our probationary teachers are 23 teachers, new to us this year, 5 first-year teachers, and then 4 that are new to Harrison School District. Longevity is a huge win at Fox Meadow. We have 1 teacher who has been in our district for 30+ years. We have 3 teachers who have been in our district for 20+ years, 1 teacher at 15+, 4 teachers or staff at 10+, and 9 teachers that have been with us for 5+ years.
So with our access data, I'll move kind of quickly with this one. The main thing that we're most proud of with our CLBE students, and those are our students that are second language learners, is that they're making growth, and that's really what's important. If you look at that first set of bars, and you look at 2018, I believe that's 2018 through 2020, 15+ points worth of growth. So we're not exactly where we want to be. We always want to be as high as we can, but to have growth each year is pretty significant.
We are proud of all of our students and work on standardized tests as well. After a dip in 2018, we actually see a definite upward trend, and that dip could be attributed to a number of transitional tests at the state level from PARCC to CMAS, and also by a turnover in teacher staff in the middle of the year, just that 1 year. We are especially proud of our math scores that improved consistently in at all grade levels. To progress monitor throughout the school year, we administer an adaptive test in reading and math, iReady, and we definitely see, we use the trends, these are the average scores, but we use more personalized scores to monitor each individual student. Our staff members do data dives and actually adjust their lesson plans according to the student needs. And we use these results also to teach our students how to self-assess their own progress at school and how to identify their own weaknesses and strengths. So these are some trends for reading and iReady in math. And this is where we are today. This year was unique again because we administered this test to quite a few students from home, and that was a challenge in itself. But we actually have extremely high return. Only a handful of students at each grade level did not complete the test. And we can actually see that math skills were impacted the most by the school closing early last year. Reading skills did not suffer as much.
So one of the things that we do to look at data at our school, and I think it's district-wide, is the so what, now what protocol, where we look at data, but then what do we do with it? And these are several steps that we've taken as a school. I'm going to read that first one last because it's the most recent one that's had a very valuable impact. But we do data dives to do differentiated lessons, we pull small groups, we have a focus on math and reading interventions. We also have social studies and science embedding literacy strategies into their lessons. And we're partnering with the Equity Project to do that. We also have walkthrough audits. We just don't do spot observations and formals, but just informally popping into classes and giving teachers what's really valuable to them, and that's feedback. And finally, we have progress monitoring, and Ms. Brunson already went over one of those significant ways that we progress monitor, and that's through iReady. I saved that good first instruction last because that's how we have met the needs of our teachers. They said we want differentiated PD, and we want it led by teachers. And so that's what we've done. It happens on Mondays during our PLC, and it also happens at any point that they feel like they need it. We have a coach, and she's available on demand pretty much. But just this past Wednesday when we had our PD, it was one of the most proud moments that we had as a staff and as an admin team because our teachers are leaders They were teaching each other, and it was impressive to see them at work.
And with that being said, we are definitely ready to watch our students grow this year, grow into lifelong learners, and watch all the hard work that not only our students are doing, but also our teachers and our community.
So Abbott, if you can tell, I'm a fan. I got my Abbott shirt on. I've been doing Abbott for more years than I can count at this point. But as far as Fox Meadow Abbott, Abbott stands for Advancement via Individual Determination. And the students that are involved in that program, they get tons of opportunities. College trips, they will resume hopefully in the spring. We do virtual tours. Last spring when we were all shut down, we took virtual tours around the world. And that was part of the Abbott program. We have guest speakers. We're hoping that some of the folks in this room might volunteer for that this year. College preparation is one of the main keys, being organized and knowing how to take notes, and also our kindness campaign. Abbott program is ran by Emily Hoover, but what makes that program so successful is that when you walk into our school, Abbott's everywhere. It's not just in the Abbott classroom, it's in every aspect of Fox Meadow. Student stats, I'll let you read some of those on your own. Speaking of Abbott, there are 90 students that are enrolled in that class, but we have students involved with NJHS, which is National Junior Honor Society. We have web members that are mentoring our 6th graders. Over 200 Fox Meadow students participate in athletics. So what our big takeaway here is that Fox Meadow students are not only successful in the classroom, but outside of the classroom. They're involved with extracurriculars.
I think another positive thing is not only, we didn't get to do AccuPlacer last year, but in 2019, 24 of the 28 students who took the AccuPlacer were already at college level or prepared for college. Also, high school credit courses, as you can see, Earth Science, English 1, Algebra 1, Spanish 1, and HFOG, Historical Foundations of Government. Several of our students are taking advantage of the high school courses we offer.
I mentioned partnerships earlier, and some of the ones that we want to highlight were Girl Scouts, Pete Vista, Teach for America, Shine Nation, Colorado Springs Utilities, the Equity Project, and Peak Education. The Girl Scouts, out of all of those, they're still meeting with girls even online throughout this COVID time.
And we wouldn't be a great school that we are without our all-star staff. To promote this rigorous instruction, to recognize our staff's achievement and their creativity, and to celebrate successes, to share successes that take place daily in their classrooms, our instructional coach actually highlights some of these special things that are happening in the classrooms in a weekly email. She briefly gives a quick description of what she sees and what's going really well, and then she also attaches photos, even video clips of instruction happening in the classroom, and specific materials to support these instructions in every classroom. For example, one week she highlighted Mr. Otto, who was channeling his inner Bill Nye the Science Guy. Incidentally, I was observing his classroom this morning, and he was still channeling the Bill Nye. And he was actually preparing his students in a live Microsoft Teams meeting for some kitchen chemistry. And it sounded really exciting, and we definitely celebrate moments like that. After Ms. Whistle and Mr. Gary were highlighted with their use of a new instructional tool to engage more students, Peer Deck, more of our teachers are incorporating Peer Deck in their instructional time as well. And of course, no one can beat Ms. Burnley. Her in-person and virtual labs continue to reign supreme and inspire our staff to go above and beyond.
This is just some of the teacher work that we have that our teachers either create with our displays or what they have in their classrooms, just to motivate our students, keep them focused, and keep them in line for what they need to accomplish within that class instead of just listing it off and then moving on. Also, besides adult recognition for our teachers, we also have student recognition of our teachers. So every week, our Avid teacher has the students identify a teacher that inspired them during this school week. And they just shout out what they liked about that class for the week, or what they liked about that teacher, or a moment in class that mattered to them.
Before the pandemic restrictions, more than 25% of our students participated in a variety of sports and after-school clubs. And that adds up to hours and hours of more learning and practicing leadership skills for our students beyond the classroom schedule. And we try to offer choices that appeal to our students, so every single student can choose something that he or she can succeed in, and again, experience different things in life as they prepare to move on to high school. We are looking forward to return these experiences to our students safely as soon as possible.
So while we have the COVID restrictions, we didn't just stop everything. We have several different activities still going. So we have our virtual health and wellness. It's not only an adult committee, but it's also a student-led committee. And Ms. Burnley leads our students in our health and wellness, and Ms. Willis leads our adults in the health and wellness. We also had cross-country practice, running, and making sure that that was still socially distanced, so they had that. We also have National Junior Honor Society virtually, AVID virtually, and a couple other committees that our students, Web was virtual as well, which allows our students to partner with 8th graders and 6th graders to develop those relationships. One thing to point out, at the beginning when we were remote learning for 3 weeks, our 6th graders were brand new to middle school, and we needed to figure out how to acclimate them to our school. So Ms. Thomas, Ms. Romagnoli, Ms. Hoover, and our counselors, Ms. Regula, as well as Ms. Boyke, developed something that we called 6th grade seminar. And this 6th grade seminar took our 6th graders on tours around Fox Meadow, so that when they did return in person after Labor Day, they had an idea of where they were going, and it wasn't just a brand new first day of school again. And so that was a great piece to our acclimation of our 6th graders. But now we would like you to enjoy this video, which is what Ms. Orozco is so excited to see is children. So please enjoy our video. that is Fox Meadow. When you have a moment, you can actually listen to the video, and you'll appreciate it a little more. But thank you to Ms. Brunson and our narrators for making it, and thank you for letting us present tonight.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate, I think from the board, we've tried to make an effort to just let you guys know how much we appreciate you. We know that times are not what any of us would thought they'd be, and you're back in classrooms, and I know a lot of staff across the city are not in classrooms, and we really appreciate your dedication to our students and our families. And that has to be said first and foremost. So thank you so much, ladies. I wish we could have heard that better, but we'll go back and listen. Did anyone have anything?
I just want to appreciate you guys for all that you do. You guys are always so accommodating when I come into the buildings, and I appreciate that so much. I never want to stop what you're doing, just continue what you're doing. I just come to see kids, see that learning is happening, and I think I speak for the board when we say thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if there were kids here, we give them hands, and we'll still give you a hand. Thank you so much. I know. With no students, we are not as
Happy.
I know, we're kind of right. You'll do the best with that. All right. So we're going to move on to 5, communicating with the board. OE9, we're going to, 5-1 is our student board reps, Lezenwaya and Ana Soto. Present.
Good evening. I talked to Dr. Shervin a little bit today, and we were able to touch on a few points about kids not coming to school. They're either coming for 2 days, but then going home and not logging in, or like the opposite. So what can we do as a school to improve that? I brought up a few points with her about making surveys for students about how they feel. Finding ways to get in contact, not just teachers, but like student to student, like interacting, like saying, we have an event going on this day, like you should come to school, like just bringing them to school. On behalf of the students, we have been struggling getting work done because getting work done at home seems like it's optional. We as students could still be in bed by the time like the class starts, so we wake up maybe 2 minutes before and log into the call, and then while the call is going on, like we'll lose track and we'll fall back asleep because we're not fully awake. As much as students are struggling, I feel like teachers are struggling as well. Teachers have been struggling just as much, trying to figure out where each individual is at by having students at home and having students at school. We did bring up ideas in student council today of having little gifts for teachers, such as writing or like motivational notes, in order to keep teachers going as much as students. Having a day when teachers and students get to paint pumpkins or like carve pumpkins, or even have like a yoga day where we can all come together as a unit and relax.
Okay, so going off of what she said, Harrison, we're trying to adjust to this new normal. So, trying to do that, the freshmen will be going back full-time, starting November 3rd. However, we are doing other things. It's kind of hard right now because a good handful of our students were athletes, and the 2 sports that were going on are now over with. So there's no competition that would help some kids stay motivated, or there's just nothing motivating the kids to do the work. So in Harrison, we have this game card hidden around the school, and whoever finds it gets a prize. Nobody's yet to find it, but at 3:30, they play music, there's a joke of the day, just trying to get students able to like look towards something. So the quarter attendance rate, the average for all the grades was 90%, but that's just on Infinite Campus when you just log in. However, the actual percentage of the students are logging in and doing the work and staying consistent with it is only 75% of the kids. So we like 90% of the people are obviously logging in, but they're not staying to the work. They're not even logging into classes. So starting Monday, there's a team being made to help figure out what's the underlying problem. Why aren't they doing the work? How can we help them do the work? So after Monday, the second semester should look better and we'll try to get that 75% up. And there is also more Fs this quarter than there has been in a while. So that will be another thing that's addressed on Monday.
Thanks, ladies. So much insight. Really, we appreciate it. You know, it's not easy for anyone right now, but our job is to make sure that our students are learning and engaged, and so we need good, solid feedback to continue growing them, and we have to be adaptable. So we appreciate all of the insight. I'm around 4 high schoolers too, and they're struggling with the same thing. The struggle's super real at this point. So, anyone have anything for our board reps? We appreciate your time, ladies. Thank you so much. Dr. Bernhandel writes notes over there. She's on it. We're going to move on to 6, matters reserved for board action. 6.1. So every year in October, we do a board self-assessment. So we're really going to go into our board self-assessment this year. We as a board did our superintendent evaluation and our self-assessment. After discussion, the board raised the question that the dual superintendent model, though effective on the onset, may no longer be the preferred model for the district moving forward. The board is considering a single line of authority and accountability at this point. So I would ask for a motion.
I move to dissolve the dual superintendent model and appoint Dr. Wendy Berhansel as sole superintendent.
I second.
Moved by Mr. Williams, seconded by Mrs. English. We will do a roll call vote at this time. So I would ask Mr. Siebert,
Aye.
Mrs. English,
Aye.
Mrs. Orozco, aye. Mr. Williams,
Aye.
Mrs. Pugh.
Aye.
All right, the ayes have it, the motion carries. We will call a 5-minute recess at this time. We will be back at, call it 6:47. I will step away from the dais for the evening. I am getting married this weekend. I didn't plan on being here. But I wanted to make sure we were a full board as we make decisions. So Mrs. English will take over as we return to the dais in 5 minutes. So, recess.
Okay, as we reconvene at 6:50, I would ask that the secretary, Ms. Linda Pugh, do a roll call.
Virginia English,
Present.
Jeannie Orozco,
Excused.
Linda Pugh, here. Steve Siebert,
Here.
Corey Williams,
Here.
student reps Eliza Moya,
Here.
Anna Soto.
Thank you, Ms. Pugh. I believe we left off at 7.1, public comment, and I looked at the sheet, and there's no one there. So we will move right along to number 8, board consent agenda. GC 2.6. And we will go to 8.1, OE7, Financial Administration Indicator Report, Ms. Shelley Becker.
Don't think it's another question.
Consent.
Oh,
We
wait,
just asked if anybody has any specific questions over anything, talked about the work session,
gotcha.
and then consent. We just.
Gotcha, I'm just going through it here. Sorry, Shelley, I put you on the spot. No reason, you always she literally pop her head up. That's my bad. Okay, so I'm getting ahead of myself too. Okay, does anyone have anything?
I simply wanted to make mention, one of the things on our consent is the policy GC5, which covers CDMT, and I would like to mention that our work session, the CDMT actually had identified some issues that they thought were worth pursuing, and we were pleased to see what they'd come up with.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything?
Would you like a motion?
Have anything?
I do not.
Okay. I would like a motion.
I move to approve the board consent agenda items as stated.
A second.
Moved by Mrs. Pugh, seconded by Mr. Williams. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. On to number 9, superintendent consent agenda. Is there anything anyone needs to? Okay, you're looking, I'm like, when he's looking, I'm like, okay. Okay, so I recommend a motion.
I move to approve board consent agenda items as stated.
A second.
Moved by Mr. Williams, seconded by Mrs. Pugh. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, on to 10, monitoring board performance. Is there anything on here?
Well, I have, under board self-assessment 9.1, board wanted to let people realize that, you know, part of our policies are that we do self-assessment. As we mentioned earlier, we actually did that this month. That's part of our ongoing continuous improvement opportunities. You know, we develop and give direction without policies. We constantly review those, and we just want people to realize that part of the coherent governance is doing those sorts of things and to clarify our expectations. So I just wanted to make that mention. We actually went through each of our governance policies, which are the ones that say how we are supposed to function. We also looked at our relationship with the superintendents, and we individually all graded ourselves and came up with a collective grade just so we could all see where we were as a board in following our own policies.
Mr. Williams, you have anything?
Not.
Alrighty. I guess we're down to our 11. Wait. I'm sorry. 10.2, wisdom sharing.
Ms. Orozco had that item, and she's a excuse from us now.
But I participated, and so did Regina.
Yeah, so you can, did you wanna share?
I can say, yeah, I
Yeah,
have
that's
some things I
fine.
can share. I almost went into it on the previous item because the wisdom sharing, again, is part of our continuous improvement opportunity. And we had a virtual meeting with boards across the country who use coherence governance. And it's an opportunity for us, from different parts of the country to share our success. In Canada, there's a number of districts in Canada that use it as well. So we can share our successes and struggles and learn from each other. What works for you, what didn't work, how do we, you can ask the question, how can I better do whatever portion of governance we're concerned about, and get feedback. A couple things that I kind of remember was, we do a debrief after all our meetings just to kind of look at how did we function in the meeting and was it productive and what might we do better. And I remember somebody making the comment to remind, we need to always remember that feedback is a gift. We're not doing these briefings to upset each other, but to kind of say, hey, well, I think we could have done better at this or that as a chance for us to become a better functioning board. Also, a thought that came up was actually putting a video on our website as to what coherent governance is. As we look at the fact that in a year or so we will have another election for board members, that people can go on the website and see what coherent governance is about. It helps them get a better sense of, do I want to run for that board? Do I want to function that way? Because we don't function like the other districts in the city. The update that we voted on for GC5 came out of, conversation in the wisdom sharing. I was like, wait a minute, that's not quite how we worded it. So we made some adjustments. And they also are able to share resources. You're trying to come up with how to measure R3, R2 type of thing, which we struggle with a lot. There was quite a number of references and resources that were made available if we needed to access them. So that's just an example of some of the stuff that occurs in wisdom sharing. So if you have something to add.
Yeah, I would just say it is very insightful to attend wisdom sharing and just to be able to interact with other boards of education and just to hear different things, what works and what what doesn't work, I'm sorry. And yeah, that's all I have.
I did not.
Okay. Yeah. Dr. Henderson, did you want to share?
I think that it's an annual meeting, and I think it just helps ground us and remind us to go back to policy. With coherent governance, it's a policy-driven decision, and so reminding the board of where they make their choices and where they have their power, and it's really in developing policy. And so it's just a good yearly reminder of how coherent governance works and how it needs to work and where the board's place is within coherent governance. So just a good reminder every year to hear that information and reiterate what we're doing well along that and what we can improve in.
And that led me to the reminder that at one point we actually divide up into groups because superintendents are part of this wisdom sharing, as well as executive assistants like Norma. So we were able to break up into groups where just board members spoke together. Superintendents had a chance to speak together and, to vote or whatever. And the same thing, Norma was able to get with some other executive assistants to see what kinds of things work for them.
All right, thank you. Now, 10.3, annual work plan. Anyone have anything on? I don't think we changed.
We didn't change it.
The only thing from last time was we got more of the highlights for the students. So they would remember about the work session time that prior to that we meet with them. That's the only thing that I noticed is different.
Norma, did you have something?
Yes, I did. I think all of you got emails today. CASB, their annual meeting in December is going to be virtual. So I have the information if you didn't get the email. And you can look at the agenda and see what you want to participate in. And I will be more than happy to register you guys. Okay, any questions about that? The dates are December 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Mainly 4th and 5th. The 1st is the conference workshops. but it will not be held, like it has been previously held virtual.
Okay. Thank you, Norma. So if any of us would like to attend, we'll shoot you an email and let you know. 10.4, legislative updates. Anyone
So
have
we
any?
don't have any out yet. We're looking for some bills that give us more funding in the education sector. Shelley is having daily arguments with the state to make sure that we're getting our funding that we deserve. And I say that in a positive way. I mean, she's really being a positive voice for school districts across the state. And she's brought light to some serious concerns we have about some of our funding and some of the messaging maybe of what they said was gonna happen and not what really happened. And so really advocating for that, also advocating that we don't take state assessments in March. It's an inequity across the state. We can't say that students have the same level of education being e-learners or in person. And each school district has a way to measure student learning. And so we really want them to trust us as districts of what we're doing. But that inequity is just gonna grow gaps across the state and it really will serve no purpose. So superintendents are going after to try to get that movement made, and then CFOs and Shelley's group is really looking at how do we secure funding and do what we said we were gonna do.
And that's probably a storm. Did anybody point out that not doing state testing might save the government money?
Right.
Well, the problem is, the federal government is not giving a waiver to states to not test. So by Colorado saying we're not testing, we could give up federal funds. But superintendents are saying, do the right thing for kids and deal with those funds on the back end.
Right. Would be the right thing to do. So, thank you for sharing, Dr. Burhan. So, and it's early, so we are early. But I would just like to say, I know President Orozco had to leave out quick, but we just want to congratulate her on her marriage. And we just want to say to all of you, thank you for your diligence. Thank you for all that you do for our district. And with that, we will move to 11 to adjourn at 7:02. And I would recommend a motion.
With no further business, I would move to adjourn the Board of Education meeting.
No,
Who seconded?
Ms. Pugh?
Ms. Pugh? Okay, so,
Joint.
moved by Mr. Severs, seconded by Mrs. Pugh. We are adjourned. Thank you.